Deep in the frozen wilderness of eastern Russia, where the trees stand like silent witnesses and the snow buries the forgotten, one man made a fatal mistake. Nikolai Petrov, a seasoned hunter, knew the rules of survival. But on one bitter December afternoon, he did something no hunter should ever do. He stole from a Siberian tiger. He didn't see it watching. He didn't hear it waiting. But deep in the shadows, hidden among the frost-covered trees, the beast had already chosen him, and it wasn't going to let him go. Petrov thought he had gotten away with it. He had found a freshly killed wild boar, its flesh still warm, and helped himself to the meat. What he didn't realize was that this was not an abandoned kill. This was a tiger's meal. And when you steal from a Siberian tiger, it doesn't forget. That night, as the wind howled through the trees, Petrov's dogs began to act strangely. One growled at something unseen. Another bolted into the darkness and never returned. Then he heard it, a low, guttural growl, so deep it vibrated in his chest. He peered outside, squinting through a small hole in the wooden wall of his cabin. And there it was, a massive shadow moving just beyond the tree-line. The tiger had found him, and it was waiting. For the next 48 hours, the tiger played a deadly game. It circled the cabin at night, its massive paw prints cutting deep into the snow. It destroyed his shed, tearing apart the wooden planks where Petrov had stored the stolen meat. And then, it simply waited. Petrov was trapped inside his own home, knowing that just beyond the door, death was watching. Desperate, he ran to a neighbor's cabin, pleading for help. The man took one look at him and shook his head. "You've been marked," he said. "It won't stop." Petrov refused to believe it. He was the hunter, not the prey. But in that moment, the power had already shifted. When Petrov returned home, the air felt wrong. Then he heard it, a faint, whimpering sound coming from inside his cabin. His missing dog. It was alive. Heart pounding, Petrov rushed inside, relief flooding through him. But the moment he stepped across the threshold, the truth hit him. The air was too still. The cabin was too quiet. And then the door slammed shut behind him. The tiger had been waiting inside all along. It had used the dog as bait, luring Petrov into his own grave. What happened next was not an attack. It was an execution. Days later, a search team led by wildlife ranger Ivan Mikhailov arrived at the cabin. They found the door torn from its hinges, deep claw marks etched into the wooden walls. They found Petrov's body, or what was left of it, dragged into the snow, carefully placed as if the tiger had left it as a warning. But the most chilling part? The tiger hadn't just killed him. It had waited for him to feel fear. It had hunted him, tormented him, and made sure he understood why. This was not an animal attack. This was revenge. Siberian tigers do not normally kill humans. They avoid them. But this one had violated every rule of nature. It destroyed property. It hunted the same man for days. It set a trap like a thinking predator, like something far more human than animal. And then, after it got what it wanted, it disappeared into the forest, as if its mission was complete. Days later, the tiger killed again, this time another local hunter. Now, it wasn't just a legend. It was a serial killer in the wild. Ivan Mikhailov and his team had no choice. They tracked it deep into the wilderness, a deadly game of predator versus predator. When they finally found it, the tiger was waiting for them, its golden eyes burning through the trees. The men raised their rifles and fired. The tiger was dead. But even as it lay still, its presence lingered. A silent warning, a final message carved into the snow. Remember me. Some say Ivan Mikhailov himself is now marked. That when a tiger like this chooses you, you are never truly safe. And maybe that's true. Or maybe we should have never forgotten the lesson in the first place. Because nature does not forgive, and it never forgets. Click on the like, share, and subscribe button for more videos. Thank you.